Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The World of Sasquatch. This actually is more of an addendum to an episode we did called Negotiating the Blockade. But only this expands further into this is basically what they wanted to talk about. There was a read I did earlier that had to do with this. Expands further into the experimental races that are out there, the ones we called the henchman races. And the way humans would tolerate or not tolerate what these different beings are doing. Yes, some of them are outright bullies. There's even different variations on reptilian themes, different variations on mammalian themes, bug themes, things of that nature. It's not just like, say, mantid. Like, okay, what's a mantid? Of course, the big alien that looks like a mantis. Bet you didn't know there's at least 10 different variations of those. So you're also dealing with some races that have codex deficiencies, like they just can't completely comprehend emotionally or spiritually that what they're doing is wrong. Maybe they're on a leash of someone else, like the Orions, or what have you. They could be bound in some way and they will attack you. But these 40 races, you have to negotiate them in some way, like help them change in some fashion. Our better half basically has to come out to work in this. We're not saying accept bullying by any means, but the whole lesson of today, when the forest people came in on the session that I was doing, and I will include a clip on here from that. I have permission from the person to do this, so I will include a clip of what we did today, or even part of the whole part of the read, negotiating with these different species. There were at least 3 that we encountered. I will include this on here. It's just an audio about finding species that were lacking in some way, and that's why some of these experimental races are doing it. I'm not saying all of them. Some of them are guilty of sin, like the Talarians, but these particular races that you'll hear in this clip now were not as guilty as they appeared. So here it is.
Yeah, I've been looking at your heart. There is something weird going on here. Even though we found other signals and stuff around the heart, this isn't just a signal. This is, that's very interesting. Oh yeah, where conversations loop like that. I've run into people that do that constantly. So yeah, first you think it's almost like dementia, but it's really that's not always the case. You have conversations that will loop. I've even caught myself doing it. So, but I'm aware I'm doing it, but I can't always stop it. That's the thing. Because if you get to a certain frequency, you might be aware you're doing something, but like programming is kicking in or something, you can't always get rid of it right away. Yeah. So yeah, I'm seeing on the side not of your heart chakra, but on your heart muscle itself, there is something there. There's like this like round like circle, yeah, like that. It's black, and I'm trying to see if it's moving at all. And it seems to, yeah, it's moving like it's kind of shifting back and forth. By I would have to say the left side of your heart muscle, and I'm looking to see what it's doing in relationship to the chakra itself. Uh, yeah, yeah, like an implant or something like that. Yeah, yeah, it's in a strange spot. But I'll peel that off. But it's very warm. It's like grabbing a hot coal, actually. Um, and it came out with like a string. So I'm going to put that in a box. Get rid of that. All right, let's see what it was doing to the heart chakra here. It is, now your heart chakra is actually spinning almost right, but there's something preventing it from moving. Like, talk about going in a loop. You were saying going in a loop. That's what this thing on the heart was going. It was going in a loop, and it would stutter, and then it would go in a loop and then stutter. I've seen, like, say when, like, say if a mimicker or something attaches to somebody, it affects both heart and brain equally. Mm. Yeah, like it can mimic stroke conditions and it can mimic heart attack conditions the same. And also, if people are actually having either a heart attack or a stroke, those two conditions tend to mimic each other. I've noticed, like, somebody may think they're having a heart attack when in fact they're having a stroke or vice versa. They mimic each other. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Isaac, can you see these things now that we've tapped into the this particular frequency? Yeah, you can now. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. See, it took us to see it. I've seen this in several sessions where some of these beings can't see things until we do. Uh, it's very weird that that happens. You would expect them to be able to see more. No, that's not the case. Mm. We're at a unique kind of junction, energy junction here, where on the verge of evolution and in many different ways, and we can see certain things these galactics cannot. No matter what frequency, Michael compared it to a helicopter pilot trying to see inside of someone's house. Yeah, it's kind of like along those lines. You can't really see in every drawer and every cabinet in the house if you don't have boots on the ground. And that's how they compared it. Uh, let me see. Okay, I'm wanting to see how it's affecting the head, what that thing was doing. Ooh, somebody is repelling me here. I just got pushed back, more like pulled back, like almost like somebody was grabbing my hair or scruff the neck or something. Uh, yeah, I was repelled the moment I went to look. When I peeled that off, okay, hmm, okay, Isaac, can you help stabilize this transmission, please? Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at his heart muscle or his heart chakra, or do I look at both again? Chakra. Got it. Okay, I'll look there. There. Oh man, there is something twirling around in your chakra. Doesn't belong there. Okay, get rid of it. Okay, I'm gonna go through into the backside of the chakra here. Get rid of that thing. Okay, there we go. All right. Look inside the walls of the heart chakra and see how they align to the head here. Let's see. I'll go up into the head chakra, and all right. This is quite odd. There is an energy flow deficiency between the two, but it's like it has been rerouted over arcing through the heart muscle where I found that circle, and it actually is culminating just under the heart chakra in between the solar plexus 1 and the heart chakra. I'm going to see what the hell this. Yeah. It looks like it's an energy grab of some sort. Let me see here. And Isaac, why, in your opinion, does this fall into like a thought loop or like a conversational loop? What does that have to do with the voice itself and the thoughts? Let's see. Oh, I'm seeing it's been illuminated a little more, and it's going over to the throat chakra, and it's going into the crown and third eye as well. It's arcing over, and it wired over to the heart muscle. But why would it arc over to the heart muscle? What was important about that would divert it from going in a straight line here? So Yeah, I peeled off that little circle, but I still feel something present. Isaac, is this physical or etheric? Both. And he's scanning at the same time I am. So let's see here. Um, it's not touching the heart muscle. No, then where is it exactly? Is it in a random energy center, like another chi point? Is it a fake chi point? No, it's something inside of a random chi point. Yes, and it was that loop that was on the heart was either a distraction or a what? Not a distraction. It was just more of a amplifier. Okay, let me see here. I'll look at any of the chi centers that are on the left-hand side. Why choose those? Let's see. They could have chose any random one. Well, I know it's closer, and it's closer to the heart. And the heart acted as the amplifier, and it needed to be closer. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, there is a strange energy string that is going and rerouting. So let me see. Yes, yes, that's essentially what it is. It's like a battery. So I'm going to see what it's powering. I gotta find here. Uh, yes, it's definitely sending a signal out somewhere to who, Isaac? Ooh, somebody isn't liking that. I'm looking at this. But this is a different energy signature than typical. This doesn't feel like the normal bad guys to me. This feels like somebody else. Like they needed something specific. Or Isaac, is it somebody working for the normal bad guys? Okay, okay, because I'm feeling somebody else's, like signature or bug pretty much. And so I'm going to look in those energy centers and see if I can run across it here. Hmm, there is somebody. Well, this is really weird. I was looking in those energy centers along your left side, the chi points, and all those meridians and stuff on that side. I see a little eyeball looking back at me here. I'm going to pull that up. Oh, it's a being that is actually watching. So I'm not sure who this is. They don't look familiar to me. Let me see here. They look like what are you exactly? Let's see. Now, yeah, you're going in a box. I don't like you. Okay, let's see. There we are. All right, now I can look at the implant. They were using the whatever this implant was to actually try to project themselves in my face. So I'm going to look, and I'm seeing a small, very tiny, red and blue colored like light. It's not even an orb. It's like this amorphous, like blob looking thing that doesn't belong in there. So I'm going to move that out in the open and see what this looks like. All right, put that in the box. It's just this like blob of energy. So the box. Oh, and the left side of my face started to hurt when I pulled that out, like my jaw. So yeah, like my jaw. Yeah, I noticed my jaw started to react when I pulled that thing out. So like a magnet almost. Okay, okay, there we are. Now, okay, I'm gonna wait till I finish doing this, and then I'll mirror it back at myself here. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna reroute this back through the heart chakra where it belongs. I'm being motioned up towards the head as well. Isaac, does this have to do with looping thoughts? Yes. Okay, where is this exactly? Um, I'll look inside the third eye. We did that last week. I didn't see anything there. But is this a new frequency? Yes. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. Hmm. Well, this is interesting. I'm looking at the third eye, like, and I'm seeing a small white ball, kind of like if you saw a ball of like fat. And this looks familiar. This popped up in a dream the other night. I had somebody come to me where I had to get rid of a being in a dream state, a woman, and then I went into this other room of whatever facility I was in and found a little white ball that looks like this sitting on a counter, and I found out it looked like an eyeball lens, and it was like it had been removed, but this person was saying they were taking it for information collection, and I wouldn't let the person have it. So It was like this the squishy thing that I realized I was looking at the lens of an eyeball. When I was in school, we would dissect cow eyes and stuff like that and pull out the lenses, and that's what this looked like. Let me see here. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what this is. So I'm going to Isaac. How do I rewrite this? It has no Akashic information on it whatsoever. There's no readout on this. Uh, because it's what? No, it's outside of the Akish. Yes. Oh, that's why you guys couldn't see it. Okay. So let's see. So how do we remove this without screwing things up? I know it's new territory, but let me see here. I'm going to realign the energy centers and flow up to that and see what it does. Oh, oh, okay. That's very interesting. This thing looks like it'll feed back false images, like almost like a projector that it projects inward. Oh, and creates thought loops. Got it. Exactly. Yeah, because realign those stones, I expected you to be able to see. So, from realigning that. So I noticed my sight got a bit better doing that. So, uh, hmm. Well, this explains it then. So I'm going to look and see why. Let's see what this thing was actually doing. It looks like it was sending. I'm going to look back and see. Okay. I ground this information into the benevolent earthly akashas of this moment in time. Under the supervision of the source, benevolent source creator, benevolent earth mother, and benevolent verses. It serves on all modes, all sessions. Therefore, now that the Akish can access this, I can get a readout on it. There we are. Oh, it's like I see the direction of what the third eye is supposed to do, and I am seeing this thing turning backwards and shoving images in the other way, or black or nothing. Uh, yeah, and this is interesting. I'm seeing. Yeah, this is. I'm going to Isaac. Can this be removed? Can this be removed as an etheric, or is this something that's physically there? Okay. So if we get rid of this, the energy of it, what will it do? Will the body consume it? Because there's a partial physicality to this. So not 100%. It looks like has a core of energy to it. So I'm going to shut the energy off. Okay. It's also making a false projection to people like myself to look like an eyeball pupil, and like what you'd expect to see as an eye, but it's not. Okay, Isaac, can you help me remove that very slowly? Okay, that is very weird. Are you picking that out? Okay, all right. Now, uh, he says, think of a prism that is. Aiming at everything but what it's supposed to. Kind of like if you had a kaleidoscope uh, kind of thing. Even though the third eye is supposed to be like a multi-dimensional kaleidoscope that can see in multiple layers at once, um, this is firing it back in on itself. So okay, I'm going to actually push that out the front of the energy center. I'll go in there and grab it. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I saw in that dream sequence with this thing. So put that in the box. Uh, there we go. Now I mirror all of this back at the sources that it came from, uh, and mirror these things away from myself in all dimensions, expressions, timelines, collapsing, invading timelines, and all multiversal, omniversal, and super omniversal situations. I mirror this across time and space where appropriate. under the supervision of benevolent source creator, benevolent earth mother, benevolent verses. And I ground this information into the benevolent earthly akashic and benevolent galactic akashas of this moment in time. It is forever so in all moments and all sessions. There we go. There we go. And now I'll look at the your energy model here again and see what has altered. All right. I saw where it was wrapped around uh, up in your brain, but now something has moved down into your throat area, the back of the throat. I'm being directed to the neck and the throat. Um, there's something sitting back there that it was linked to that would cause the verbal loops as well, like not just thought loops, but verbal ones. And this is at the very back of the throat chakra. So this looks different than the other thing, though. This thing looks like a star or like a almost like spider legs in a way, kind of in the shape of a star, but looks like a spider. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to pull that off. That doesn't belong there. Now these beings can see these things. So I've noticed. So there's several other beings looking at these. I think I sent somebody else's presence that this equipment belongs to. Um, can we block them, please? Okay. Um, are they self-serving ones? Yes. Okay. They appear this race appears to be like what I call one of the henchmen races, like they work for the Orions. So that's a sense I'm getting from them. They're not attacking. They're just watching and waiting. Okay, guys, I don't want you putting anything back after I'm done, please. So, no, you're not going to? Yeah, you better not. Okay. All right, let's see. You haven't attacked me at all, so I'll let you walk. But you attack me one time and you're going to get it. Okay. There's like maybe three or four of them that were watching me. They look rather odd. They have like a um I don't want to say a bird appearance, but they have like almost like they stand kind of like a how a bird would, and they have like backwards legs and everything, like the knees go in the other direction and everything, kind of like a bird. Huh? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they have kind of like a weird bird appearance, but they're none like that I've seen before. Uh, they have a like a grayish white, uh, almost a grayish white bluish appearance. Uh, they said they are information gatherers, and we our term for this would be like spy or or something like that. They are. Why did you put these in, and who are you spying for? Would it be for these Orion beings? Yes and no. Oh, you're like almost to like the highest bidder. Like you go with anybody that like pays you. Okay. So why did your benefactors or have you put these things in and monitor them? Or do you know? Oh, you know. Okay, why then? For you're showing me on like almost like a quantum map here. Yes, I see the timelines. Yes, and I see these things being put in. Yes. Do you see how? Oh, they're asking me if I see how this drags out certain what? Uh, certain ailments, but at the same time, but I'm telling them at the same time, by doing this, they become visible because of these energies that people are putting off, and also the Earth and the Sun are putting off. So these things are pretty much useless. But why to such a complexity? Uh, how long ago did you guys get hired to put these in? Was this a very long time ago, or not as long as I think? But this was not in the modern era, though. No. Okay. then why weren't these visible before? Um, okay, that makes no sense. We were not visible to you before. That makes no sense because you put them in. No, oh, I've screwed that up. You guys were not visible to me. Okay, and you operate on the same frequency as these devices. That's why I saw you the moment that I saw the devices. Okay. Why am I getting the feeling you're not telling me everything? Please tell me. I'm asking a true benevolent source. Please audit this process as of this moment in time. You have a very odd energy signature. You're not evil per se, but you are capitalistic, though, in some fashion, or you're being given resources to conduct this. Uh, so show me again how this actually benefits you in some fashion. Yes, how does this benefit your race? Well, what if the Orions suddenly went away and you were left holding the bag? And they would do that. So I would suggest you find other benefactors other than just Orion and also these other races doing experiments. So eventually you guys will be in charge of your own stuff. So I would suggest you actually treat people better than this. Help remove these things from people. Why can you not? Are you not able or are you not willing? Both. And then give me a reason why not. Is it for your own safety and sovereignty? Or you just don't care? Because if that's the reason, you're gone. So show me why this has to be elongated out. Oh, oh, I get it. I get it. The restrictions were also made to where when people jump timelines, the reason it pulled in certain directions or pulled towards the left or something like that, there looks like as people jump timelines, these things were pulled on and shifted so that the person was not able to be fully grounded in that new timeline. Kind of like there was always one string or thread somewhere else that would repeat things in a loop, kind of like a pattern of uh, let me see, a pattern of like a repetitious sort of thing, like with the thoughts and with the words, but also situations too. These things would equate to situations not ending, even if you've resolved them in some fashion. Like there would be a repeat of something from the past, or a repeat of something, some record or something. It's both. They did put it in now, but they're saying that it actually has the ability to record all the way back and use that information against the subject. And did you guys invent this, or are you just installing it? Because there are doctors that can put in things, but they didn't invent them. So did you invent this or not? No, you just put them in, kind of like how a doctor will put a fake leg in or a fake joint in, but they didn't invent it per se. Okay. Yes, and it is supplied to other races that also use them for their own purposes and hire these beings to help put them in as well. Uh, so like I said, they're rather odd looking. You almost want to call them birds, but they don't look fully like birds. Um, they have some bird features, but it looks like to me like they were created by somebody. Um, like they were created in a lab or something somewhere. Um, Yeah, yeah. Isaac seems to think they have some robotic components to them, but they are sentient life forms. Um, but eventually they're going to be independent, and they'll be judged based on their own actions after a while. So um, what we're going to do here is they haven't harmed us at the moment per se. They haven't done anything dumb, like tried to interfere or charge at us or hurt us or anything. So, but I am going to ask that they now remove these from other people that they have put this in. Um, well, I don't care who's not giving you permission. Show me your other benefactors. Show me the other races that are basically pulling your strings here. Is this all these experimental races that are nearby? Most of them. Okay. Show me the main ones that actually are causing the most damage. Oh, let me see. Oh, there's about 10 or 12 of them. Okay. Show me. Show me what the where and when. Oh, okay. All right. They're showing me a map of the solar system. They're showing me different ships that are coming and going. They're showing all the people they basically work for. Um, oh, you guys were told to say this if somebody confronted you, that you were told to show. Yeah, but how would that benefit their experiments if we know about them? Uh, not deniability, but they think if they get, like, it's like a child that thinks if they tell you the truth about something, they've done something wrong, they won't get punished for it. It's like that. They're giving me the truth in the hopes that humanity will be kind to them. It's like, oh, we told you, so is there going to be a punishment over this? This sort of thing, kind of like a friend of mine has kids that they they would go to immediately and say, "We broke this thing. Okay, now you're grounded." And they're like, "Well, we told you. It doesn't matter. You broke it." You know, sort of thing. It's like that. It's like that's how a child thinks. You know, and that's how these beings are thinking. Um, they no, you're gonna be you're gonna have to pay for this in some way, guys. Come on. Um, it's not like a child, and I know these other races can hear me at the moment. I know damn well they can hear me because I'm amplifying my voice to where they can hear me here. Uh, and I'm showing them I'm removing all this from myself, you, and then since it's been mirrored, um, those avenues or portals that they use to put these in are not going to be open to them anymore. Uh, so if they have any other devices, now's the time to divulge it. Um, ooh, you guys aren't too nice to me. Okay, there's like a couple of ships out there that are sending waves of agitation here. So some of them aren't too happy. There are at least 12 different race types I'm looking at here, 12 or 13 of them, and including the partial bird bot people. I don't even know what to call them. Never seen you guys before. No offense, but I've never seen you guys before. We're not basing it on how you look. We're basing it on your actions. So let me see here. Yeah, I see this fading in you and in me, so I can feel it disappearing. But there is okay. Which one of you races wants to talk? Somebody wants to talk here. I can. Somebody is trying to fight to get to the front of the line here. Who are you, friends? If you are friends. Now you. What are you? Okay. Um, there is a race I'm looking at that has. They look like blue reptiles in a way. They have kind of like a weird jowl, and they have like this. They kind of like how chickens have those jowls. They have this jowl under their neck, and they have like this flattened like face. They have blue scales, and they have hair, like this like plumage of hair around their head and neck. Kind of like we have a beard, but they have hair down the neck and everything. And I'm like, okay, who are you? I've never seen you before. Let's see. I don't understand your language. I'm sorry. Let's see. Can you transmit in English, please? Yes, I can understand you. Why did you participate in putting this in? Why did you want this put in? You co- you were analyzing the timeline shifts and what you felt was most applicable to the timelines people should be in that adapt to what purpose, to what end? To drag on what? Oh, you're just not wanting to be revealed to anybody. Okay, drag on to the time where humans will eventually be out there dealing with all of them. This particular race isn't looking forward to that. Yeah, the ones that got to the head of the line here. I just call them chicken reptiles because they have that jowl. I don't know what the hell to call them. So it's like I make up a name. If they don't give me a name, I make one up. So, and they're not very friendly per se. They're not Draco or anything like that. They're not very friendly, but I feel they were also created at some point, or maybe a long time ago. But yeah, they're blue with very large, like crocodilian scales, but they have like a human-looking face, but and beard and hair and everything with braids and everything in it. But they have like a red, like almost like a war paint, like under their eyes, like but that's skin color, and it seems they can shift and change color with moods a little bit, kind of like a chameleon in a way, but they do it with like a mood ring, and and they have like this war paint under the eyes, and they have like skin jowls that go down their chin, kind of like a bearded dragon, and um no, I don't think you're a type of dragon. No, no, no. You're on 2 feet and 2 legs, 2 arms. They are fairly large. So no, these guys are short. I would have to say they're maybe less than 5 feet high, and they're kind of chunky, and they're kind of stocky or chunky, but they're all muscle though. I still wouldn't mess with them if they were like physically here, but yeah, they seem to they seem to want to drag out when humanity is out there mostly in the system. It's like they're assisting those keeping this all secret. And they're very indifferent. They're not they don't they're slightly miffed that I've discovered them, but they're not lashing out per se. They're actually very uncomfortable being around me speaking about them. There's like an air of like uncomfortableness there. Um, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and not be knowledgeable about them per se. They're very isolationist, but yet they're dealing with a bunch of other races. Yeah, they don't want people coming into their own power. They want everything status quo, basically. And it's annoying them a little bit, even communicating right now. I can feel them getting very irritated, but they're not. It's not like a hatred. It's more of a just an irritant. Like we're an irritant. Like we start to grow and start making noise out there in the galaxy. They're just irritated. Yeah. It's not like if we were on board one of their ships, we would they'd be standing around going like that. Uh, yeah, and they also have a thing for that they don't like our appearance too. They're kind of revolted by our appearance and smell too. Um, like we stink to them pretty much. Uh, yeah, they're very revolted by our appearance and smell, and like I can feel that in their energy. They're now they think we're ugly pretty much. Uh, and it's like, well, right back at you. But 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 yeah, but this is what I was told. Some of our people would think of some of the species out there because of the smell and appearance too. Uh, so you can't completely hold that completely against them, but the experimentation you can. Uh, um, so everybody has their type, but you don't hold people back. But this was a deliberate thing just to hold us in a holding pattern uh, in some fashion. But what about these other races? I get now why you guys are doing this. You're actually very forthcoming, in a fashion. But who else is responsible? I want to know who else is responsible here. Is there another one of these races that can actually talk to this? As long as it's for our highest good to know this. Let's see. True benevolent source creator, please illuminate these different ships. If there's any of these other remaining 11 or 12 that want to talk, now's the time. Let's see. Uh, hmm. There's a yellow-looking race that's showing up now too. They look kind of like a bug. but they're yellow colored, like almost like a banana color. Um, Not seen you guys before. I don't understand your language. I'm sorry. Let's see. You're just clicking at me here. So let me see. Are these like a type of insectoid, Isaac? Sort of. They don't look familiar to me. They have like this weird triangular shaped head, and they have like these like tendrils coming down from their face. I'm not sure what these guys are, but not sure what kind of life form these guys are. At least I could tell what the other ones were. But this one's a little weird. Uh, um, are you some kind of construct? Are you some kind of artificial intelligence? No? Are you biological? Okay. What kind of life form are you? This is they're full. The insides of them almost like have a bioluminescence to them, and um well, it's very strange how the insides of them there's like these glowing little orbs that move along on inside of her, like what we would see as veins and arteries. Yeah, and they don't have a circulatory system as we would know it. It's like more of a chemically based reaction. They don't have any bones either. This is really strange. It's like they're being held up by almost like by light and shadow and gas and chemicals and everything. This is actually quite weird. Let me see here. What kind of life form are you? Do you have insect? Sort of. Okay. You just contain the codes of insects. Yeah, okay. And are you an augmented species? Were you created at some point? Yes? All right. By whom? Well, it would be like Orion, like Anunnaki. Okay. And why? What is your participation in this? Let's see. What part of this did you have a hand in, or did you use the same things that you were supplied? Um, you have a slightly different take on this. Okay. Some of these races, the experimental races, have the same mind as these other reptilian guys we were talking to, where they don't plain want us out there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What part did you guys play in this? What did you put inside of people to actually instigate this holding pattern? What role did you play? Somewhat of the creation of that lens we were looking at. In part. Oh, it's kind of like a factory almost, where certain departments are delegated certain things. Like a specialty, like say if you were like you have people in like Dell or something working on a computer, like you have some building the motherboard, some building the case, some building the processor, some building the RAM chips. Uh, it's like that. And they did some of the work on the that lens we were looking at. To what end? Let's see. I'm our what? Oh, you're being very blunt. Okay. Our stagnation? As to why would you want to stagnate? I want your race's opinion on this. Not that I'm a fan of talking to the experimental races here, but give me your opinion, please. It actually matters in this whether you actually get to participate in stuff in our future or not. So what is your opinion as to why we should be stagnated? Show me. Oh, you're showing me. They're a very visual race. They show images. Uh, they like a flip book, and they're showing me that he, he's being very blunt. They said humans are doing a lot of dumb things and need to be corralled. Is what he's saying, and it's like no. If you left us untethered, we would probably surprise you. Uh, no, and he kept saying not in a good way. So it's like, well, don't judge us based on our ill actions because those were started by your benefactors. Even though humans are responsible for their own actions too, there's a lot of possessions and oppression going on that you guys are a part of. So it's like they're not comprehending that. It's like I've confronted them with that, and it's like they're not. It's like almost like they don't have the codexes. in their mind to comprehend that particular fact. Like they're participating in the very loop that they're actually judging us on. Yeah, yeah. They don't, I don't think they have the thought pattern necessary to comprehend what I'm saying here. Uh, like they need they lack the codexes. It's like, okay, I'm being Isaac's showing me an example in the show Star Trek Deep Space Nine. There was a species called the Jem'Hadar that had been created by shape-shifting aliens called the Dominion, and they were created in a lab, but they were lacking a particular enzyme that if they didn't get it, they'd go through withdrawals and die. And the Dominion always held the key to getting that enzyme. They made it so they were lacking in a crucial brain enzyme, and if then they'd have to go to them for the medicine. Uh, and this is what this feels like. This is the same type of situation where they're lacking this codex to where they're not understanding. I don't believe they understand completely that they're doing harm. Yep. Yes. That's the crux of this entire thing. No matter what agenda these species have or what they can comprehend or cannot comprehend, they're trying to keep us off the timelines we need to be on. Let me see. Isaac is basically saying it's not. It doesn't look like it's a timeline per se. He's been analyzing this as we've been talking to these races, uh, and it looks like it. Let me see. Yeah, he agrees with you on that one. It's um, he says these races are variations of. He calls them 50 Shades of Dumb. Uh, So, well, or in this case, 40 Shades of Dumb because there's 40 different experimental races, uh, but that's pretty funny actually. But he's making fun of them right now. He's pointing fingers at them, but he's saying that humans can transcend this abuse, uh, uh, even by even by us knowing about it right now, it's actually helping. Um, and they seem to think that by knowing they're there, it's not making any difference. But it is. It's like by us making these. It seems almost like moving inches or centimeters at a time. We're actually making leaps and bounds to correct to the energy. And I'm being shown. I'm looking at a projection map of once of us jumping these timelines and us actually even speaking of these instances of and comprehending some of these instances, we're actually benefiting the energy around us, and that unhinges us from these restrictions. Even knowing about an experiment seems to corrupt the experiment, and the fact that even people call this the grand experiment and that people are actually acknowledging that there's at least 20 to 40 races that are doing these things, that's actually a start in the correct direction. Being, informing people about these different experiments going on, whether it's believed or not, it's actually spoken and dumped into the Akesh. Uh, okay. All right, we'll do that right now. For one, I not only mirror any ill implants, tendencies, signals, or vibrations back to these beings, I also implant all this information I'm about to speak into the earthly and galactic benevolent Akeshas as of this moment in time, supervised by True Benevolent Source Creator and supervised by True Benevolent Earth Mother and the Benevolent Verses and audited by all of these sources. I do this in all dimensions, expressions, timelines, collapsing invading timelines, and all omniversal, super omniversal, and multiversal situations. Also, what do I have to add, Isaac? In all dimensional pockets and layers as well for these beings and frequencies? Yes, I do that in all of those. I mirror this across time and space where appropriate. And I also ground again into the benevolent earthly Akesh, benevolent and benevolent galactic Akeshas of this moment in time, mirrored across time and space where appropriate. It is forever so in all moments and in all sessions. I want to make sure this information is available to the whole of humanity. at this moment in time. There we go. There we go. And this one race, that one that looks like the weird head, is actually trying to analyze what this is, trying to comprehend. What I'm going, yeah, it's try what I just did, and what I'm doing is I'm putting into, I'm actually reaching into his own genetic memory and altering it so that he can comprehend and have the codexes to comprehend what they've done. uh, I'm going in and adding to their codexes. I've run into species before that are unbalanced like this, and I rewrite their genetics to replicate like ours do. Uh, and I'm going into his species and saying all this information, everything we just mirrored is going into that species, and also this other one that I was looking at, the reptilian one, and I'm seeing the triangle headed looking one change a little bit. They're changing color. Uh, they're changing color to like maybe a strange, almost like a, I don't want to say lavender. It's more of like a uh, dark, like black purple lavender, and they're changing color. And I'm seeing they're trying to comprehend what I just said, and I'm feeling they're changing as a result. And I'm reaching out to these other members of his race, and I'm mirroring that over to them. Uh, if they want to understand the knowledge, they now they have it. So when we put it in the Galactica cache like that, the benevolent Galactica cache, it became available to them too. So I'm rewriting their genes to make sure whatever blockages they have are actually that are encumbering their understanding, they're opening up and becoming more sovereign and not a slave to anybody. Uh, I've lit up one of their ships. It looks like, it looks like that particular race is leaving. They're not staying here. It looks like they are taking off now. Uh, they've just left. They left the system. So I'll go over to this reptilian race and this other one with the jowls and do the same, and also this bird-looking one and do the same. Um, yeah, I know the bird-looking ones are saying they understand what I'm saying now, and I'm putting that in their genes. There we go. There you go, friends. Now you have that understanding. If you are for our highest good, you may remain. If not, and you have more to learn about yourselves, do not experiment on us any further. There we go, friends. There we go. And they're leaving now, too. And now back to this one with the jowls. They seem to be the more aggressive ones here. So let me see. And I'm seeing a ship full of them looking at me, too. And I'm doing the same. So yes, you understand now. Do you still wish to remain in servitude to Orions or any other races that do not have our highest good at heart? No, they just cut the transmission. They didn't. They just it's like shutting the door. I gave them the codexes they needed, and they choose to do what they're going to do. So, but those other two races left the system. It looks like, or at least those weird triangular-headed looking ones left the system. These bird ones, a couple of them are hanging around now. Uh, now they're leaving too. But somebody's saying thank you. I know on a quantum level, somebody was thanking us for that. Um, thank you, friends. Okay. Yeah. See, sometimes you can do that by just giving them the information they want, and they stop. It may seem like it's a bad trade-off because some of them have hurt people, but if they're lacking in a certain area, that means they can't stop. So if you give them the appropriate codex, that means they can stop. Now they've been given the ability to choose, and some have chose either to walk away, remain indifferent, or remain, depending on what they're choosing. It's like like at least two of them didn't have the choice. I feel the reptilian one with the jowls had more of a choice. The other two seem to not have the comprehension to choose. So I gave it to them, and now they've had a taste of that, and they're more than likely going to not do this anymore. So, it's not the first time I've run into that, where I found a reptilian species living in Agartha where they had been made to look really homely, and they didn't have the appropriate codexes to have emotions correctly. I think they called themselves the Rigzor or something like that. I can't remember what they called themselves, but my mother participated in that conversation, and we did the mirroring thing over across all of them, and they actually were disconnected from the Orions at that point, and they were able to actually sovereignly choose on their own past that point. So it's not the first time I've run into this. It's just been a while. Uh, yeah, and something just told me they could be helped. So, not necessarily have their head cut off, but they could be helped. So, mm, they should leave us alone from this point on. I noticed our frequencies went up when I did that. So it looks like they are also removing anything else that they put there. Um, somebody's even pointing stuff out. It looks like they're being helpful. So Uh, yeah, yeah. They said, "What else did you guys put in?" Who am I speaking to? Oh, the triangular-looking guys. Okay, thank you. What did you put in? Uh, yeah. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Let's see here. All right. What did you put in? Okay. Um, you did something to the nerves too. Like we found last time, there was like the way the nervous system was backfiring and everything. Is there something that you guys put in there in the nerves? There was a particular codex that doesn't belong. Okay. I'm asking that you remove this as of this time. It is for my highest good, please. And that true benevolent source creator, please audit this process at this moment in time. Okay. You did a lot more than what you said. Okay. Thank you for being honest. Uh, just know that other humans, when they discover this, might not be so favorable towards you. All right. Just know that. Then they will have every right to be angry with you. All right. I just want to make that clear. All right. All right. We might be a little more patient than them, but they will be not happy. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, I'm seeing different layers coming off, and I feel it coming off of me as well. And I'm seeing this is something that they're removing their signature completely from here. So any influence they had, they're cutting that influence off, like at the knees. Uh, I've seen this before, where sometimes a race will withdraw and their influence here will come to a screeching halt. So anything that had their entanglements in will suddenly disintegrate, and something in somebody's life might actually change for the better or just stop. Uh, and I've seen that effect before. Like if you have say if you like Shiva, when I got rid of him, let's say, any of the stuff that he was involved in, like when I deleted his codes, any of the magic he had going here started to just fall apart. Yeah, that's essentially what they're doing. If that's how some of these quantum entanglements work, where uh, like if a particular race is like putting that out, like what they were doing, like their harmonic basically is withdrawn, and our harmonics fill in more of the gap. That's essentially what that is. Um, and oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I'm also feeling more of my own energy filling in. The same thing I'm seeing with yours. It seems every time we talk, we fill in more of the gaps here. So it's like um, this is yeah. Oh wow, I can feel it. I don't know if you can feel that weird buzz, but yeah, that's because they removed their harmonic that didn't belong. Now, if they wish to include a harmonic of their own sovereignty later on in history, want to teach us things, that's a little different. But like come here, as friends later, um, when humanity is more in tune with that. But let's see. Okay, what else are you pointing at to me, friends, or newly formed friends? What other harmonics are holding humanity back? Oh, you're revealing other beings' playbook. Thank you. They're showing me at least there's all these different threads that are out there. That are you telling me they don't belong here? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for revealing that. They're showing me all these entanglements and threads that are doing the same thing that they were doing, but by these other races. Yes, yes, and they're transmitting a weird codex back that doesn't need to be happening. Uh, Yes, yes, they said by us seeing this, like us viewing this, it's actually changing the fabric of these threads. Because it's just like that experiment, us looking at something, it's changing it. That's essentially it. Once you've viewed it and discover it, and okay, I'm going to just ground this right now. I ground this information that I'm seeing about these different off codexes into the benevolent earthly caches of this moment in time and the benevolent galactic caches of this moment in time, supervised by true benevolent source creator, benevolent earth mother, and the benevolent verses. This information is mirrored across time and space where appropriate. It is for so in all moments and all sessions. All right, let's see. Ooh, that was a rush. Yeah, I felt some other energies withdrawal. Somebody is not happy here either. I felt like a irritation from somebody. It was like how you hear Obi-Wan Kenobi say there's been a disturbance in the Force. That's what this felt like. I felt this like disturbance in the Force there. Uh, yeah, it's like a slight agitation, like you know. But somebody out there didn't expect me us to see all that. But that race. I would suggest you guys hide somewhere because you just pissed a lot of people off. Okay. Let me see. Thank you guys for showing me that. And I'm seeing several withdraw from the Earth. There's several codexes that are like shrinking away. I'm looking within us primarily, and I normally don't see global things like this. It's normally like individuals. Uh, but global things I rarely see, but they're always good to see. Um, it looks like certain harmonics are being withdrawn that they no longer have maybe either a teaching purpose or they never had a purpose to begin with. I'm actually looking in you and me, and oh my God, I'm feeling several things just kind of fade away, like their influence is just dissolving. It's like if you put a pill in water and it dissolves. That's what it's doing. Uh, it's because it was seen and mirrored like that. And the information actually it wasn't mirrored, but the information was grounded, and that's all it took. It was just seeing it and grounding it. And it's usually some information is just as simple as that. Like we spread our influence, like we're taking up more of the space etherically there. Okay, who was mad at me? Somebody's just reeling here. Let's see. Somebody's just seething anger here. And it's not Orion. It's somebody else that's just seething anger here. And they're to the point where it's uncomfortable. So let me see. Step forward, please, if it's for my highest good and his highest good and the highest good of people in this household. Please step forward and know that you will be filtered and audited by true benevolent source creator as of this moment in time. Who are you, please? Um, who are you? I see you, but you're blurry. Ooh, there's a lot of you. There's a lot of different races that I'm getting it collectively from like some of these experimental races. Yeah, they're all looking at me, so it's like not the first time something like this has happened. Okay, everybody, you can all hear me, so let's just know that you've been found out. I see there's at least 40 different kinds looking at me here. So um, my benevolent ones that wanted the codexes for good purposes. That was one thing. You guys were stealing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't care if you had a contract. Shut up. Okay, let's see. All right. Some were holding pieces of paper up and data pads and all this other stuff. I'm like, I don't care. It's like I do not care when I see those things because we didn't make the pact. So, okay, if there's any moment in time that any of my ancestors, past lives, or dimensional selves actually made a pact with any of you that is now nullified and revoked and audited as of this moment in time. And same goes for him here too. Same goes for Rob. So you guys don't have that as an excuse because we didn't consent. Okay. Uh, what are you pointing to? I really don't care, but what are you pointing to? Let's see. I don't care what base you're pointing to. I don't care if they gave permission for the whole of anybody. You don't have the rights to that. If they gave permission, I now can undo what they've done. If it's just a few that you've dealt with. So let's see here. Uh, Who are you? What are you bitching about? Let's see. Hmm. There's this weird looking guy that has this long, like turkey neck looking thing and these large eyes that I'm thinking he might be a type of bug. I'm not sure if he's like a mantid or something is coming forward. And I'm supposed to care. Why? What are you bitching about? Um, what? I don't understand your language. I don't understand clicks. No. So why are you part of this? Let's see. Well, you need to what? Change into what? Yeah, I understand the whole codex thing, but you're a thief. You need to ask people's permission, not the governments or governmental ruling bodies, the individual people. You don't seem to be able to comprehend that. All right. Uh, but yeah, I know you're showing me the procedures of coming into the system. I know the military and cabal procedures and Nazi procedures. I get it. But you don't have to obey them. Let's see. I know there's Orion influence. I get it. But you don't have to. None of you have to obey this. So it's like we've had this. Some of you and I have had this conversation before. I recognize some of your races. So let's see. Who is stepping forward? Oh, there's this benevolent forest people that are stepping forward to counsel this. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's the forest people are stepping forward to kind of intercede here. So they speak on our behalf in the system every now and again. So that's what they're doing here too. Uh, no, they're just happy I was negotiating with these beings and not just cutting their head off. So like, uh, because you don't always have to do that, but you know, yeah. Oh, okay. You are. I know you're speaking. Is this Seymour I'm talking to? Seymour. Yeah, he's a forest person friend of ours. So. Um, and Fuma and all of you, thank you. I appreciate it. What is it that you want them to know? You can tell them too because they've hurt your people too. So I can hear them yakking with each other telepathically here. The forest people are transmitting stuff to them. Um, uh, hmm. Yeah, I can hardly hear what's being said. It's being done on an extremely high pitched quantum level, but it's what are you supplying to them, Seymour? You're showing them what? That humanity is thank you. They said they're showing them that humanity and the forest people are worth more than petri dishes. Okay. Uh that group that was talking, what did you say about them? I know they're a bunch of assholes. Thank you. All right. All right. Yeah, see, the forest people defend us. So they go out there and speak on our behalf all the time since we're cousins. Uh, so yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Are they going to stop those particular harmonics now? Since that's part of the deal. Once humanity discovers certain things, even one or two people, they have to be reversed. That's part of the whole deal. Okay. Okay. So even if one person notices it, they have to retract that harmonic. Even though it helps, that 3/4 of the population we've told have to be more of in an aware state before all the rest is revealed. One or two people get the fires going here, and I know not literally, Seymour, I understand, but get the energetic fires going here, and let me see here. Oh, I understand. Because that's part of the deal these races had. If they were seen, they had to back off. hmm Yeah, exactly. With them withdrawing these harmonics, you're going to see more and more people start to awaken. But the deal that the governmental bodies had with these races is, if they were discovered, it's one of those "we'll disavow all knowledge" sort of thing, kind of like Mission Impossible. Uh, yeah, it's like that. He's just over the moon of that we've seen this. So it's like, okay, I asked that True Benevolent Source Creator, True Benevolent Earth Mother, and the True Benevolent Verses, please audit this process as of this moment in time, audit this entire conversation, audit all these 40 races on this particular harmonic that they've pulled away from Earth, and these harmonics they pulled away from Earth now, and these codexes that they no longer require. I revoke any and all perceived tacit permission that I personally have given to these 40 races or more to gain genetics, energy, or harmonics or codexes. I now mirror this across all dimensions, expressions, timelines, collapsing, invading timelines, in all multiversal, omniversal, and super omniversal situations. I now mirror this across time and space where appropriate, under the supervision of True Benevolent, Earth Mother, True Benevolent, Source Creator, and True Benevolent Verses. Yeah, it is forever so in all moments and in all sessions. Ooh, yeah, I got a big rush from that one. As soon as I ended that and closed that off, there was like this whoosh. Um, I don't know if you felt that, but it was like this whoosh. That. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, I felt like this strange whoosh going up my spine when I did that. Um, yeah, the forest people are just over the moon. Uh, uh, over this, finding out about this. This is actually quite interesting. That this happened. That these little things lead back to these bigger things like this. And I'm looking where these codexes or these threads have been removed from the Earth just to see what the result is. I'm going to project this forward in like a hypothetical to see what happens here. And it looks like it's sped up some things energetically. Like basically removing these essentially were blockages, and removing these things, I've noticed certain timetables have sped up, like how we when how we access certain energies, and when we access them. It looks like that timetable's been sped up a tad. um, Let me see. Ooh, yeah, I got that confirmation. And what was that, Seymour and Fuma? um, I know this is something that needed to occur, that humans had to reach out to these experimental races. And I know it's going to take more than just us to actually always speak to them, but just seeing a couple of us seeing this start to change things. You mean more people will start to reach out to these different races, even ones beyond these 40, you mean? Yes, and to more of the forest people and everything. Yeah, all right. That's, oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I can feel the energy charge. The energy in the air is like charged, uh, and it's like very, very. Uh, I want to say it's more stable, but it's also more charged energetically. And okay, go back to your energy and see what that's actually doing. Mm, oh yeah, your energy is much brighter. Uh, it's actually, I've noticed the more that we come closer to these encumbrances, the energy starts to dim, like really dim, and then when it's removed, we discover it, and the energy brightens again, kind of like a flame uh, firing up in a candle, where it goes real dim and then up. Uh, it's like that. Um, so is there anything, let's see, that, well, I'm going to look I'm going to look between the heart and head and see if all that's been taken care of. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've seen that blockage inside the third eye. That weird eyeball-looking thing is actually gone. And it's gone in me too. I can actually feel it. Yeah. Okay. Was that more of an implant, guys? Is that something that you guys saw before? No, you didn't see that particular thing before. You're just happy this has been dealt with. Okay. Yeah, the forest people couldn't completely see it either. I mean, they were already negotiating for the things they could see, but they couldn't actually see that specific thing. But now they can. It's actually in the Akesh, and they can actually access it as part of the data now. Seymour just said they help us because we're brothers. Yeah. It's basically, think of Big Brother, Little Brother. Uh, we're related, we're family. Yeah. Yeah. That's the reason they help us, not because they're getting anything in return. Even though it is nice to actually get something back from humanity, they said that's not why they're doing it. It's always nice to get a gift periodically. No, yeah, I know you guys are joking around. Yeah, there's basically saying collectively, yeah, leave us gifts. Yeah, okay. They always do that. Some of them will pop up and say, we like this. We like you to leave this here. It's like, yeah, they do that all the time. Like we leave them stuff periodically. We haven't gifted in a while, but we do give them stuff. Mm. Yeah, you can go out in the woods and leave them things like if you leave toys for their children, or if you leave them I used to make dolls like gifting dolls. I haven't made one in quite some time. Uh, it's more of like you're showing them appreciation when you do stuff like that. And yeah, and you always hear people on the internet talking about gifting to Sasquatch, and we used to go up to Thumb Butte and do that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to start up again. We haven't had a chance to get out there and do that in quite some time. But like I would make these elaborate dolls with beads and stuff on them and everything, and leave them things. And I haven't done it in a while. Like I made a big doll that looked like a golden bird, and I put out there for them. Like we make dream catchers, and I used to do the dolls. So yeah, and they like stuff like that because it's more of appreciation. You're not really caring what you spent on it. You're not really caring how elaborate it is. You're just doing it by the will of the soul versus monetary. And that's what they appreciate is it's through the heart space, and that's what they appreciate. And yeah, there's a lot of them gathered here to listen to us too. There's a lot of forest people. Okay, okay. I look around and there's like dozens of them listening to us, hundreds of them listening to us at the moment. Uh, yeah, and some are outside here. The local clan. I'm getting ones from other areas too.
Okay, I will continue to explain a little bit here. Here's a difference between one that is wantonly doing it and one that is actually not capable of knowing why they're doing it. You have a race like the Talarians that are wanton henchmen of the Orions. Then you have a race like one of the ones you heard in there, or a couple of them that you heard in there, that were deficient in some area. They were still created, but they were created imperfect. They were created with lacking something. That they felt there were no other options open to them until they were presented with that codex. Then, of course, you have the other species out there that are taking on the codexes that they're improving spiritually. There is a difference. It doesn't seem like there is a difference. It seems like it's just a really thin gray line there. But she didn't hear the session, but it has to do with this. The forest people came in to help negotiate with these races. Many races, faces of all of these 40 showed up, and in that they were looking at me like I disrupted something. Also, the fact that I could see all of the harmonics that they were adding to the earth that were no longer applicable to the current energies. steering in a certain way or withholding humanity in a certain way because they were wanting a status quo being kept in some way, either on behalf of the Orions or because of their own fears. Either way, the forest people came in and basically said, knock it off. Learn from this, negotiate, and we're expected to negotiate on this end. The Sasquatch have become kind of this intermediary, this bridge, and that we are taking the place of that bridge. We're learning how to be that bridge. So, does the head chopping method work? Sometimes, yes, but not all of the time. And also, you're having to negotiate different forms of programming too, but we won't get into that this time. But I asked them if they wanted to record something about this that was on top of that piece of that fragment of the recording, and they said absolutely. So from what you heard there, which is basically them negotiating the 40 races, and I believe that'll be the title of this, because it's very, very important that people understand that these experimental races, what was done to you was absolutely horrendous, wrong on so many levels. But you can't fight somebody with a spaceship, okay? In orbit, yeah, you can take down the etheric versions of the ships, all the dimensional stuff. You see me do it all the time. But what is better, that you leave them in a debilitated state, or you actually help them form this. I'm not saying do this for the Greys or the Orions. No, they are the absolute exception to the rule. Kick them off this planet. Good, bad Orions, anyway. There are good variations out there, believe it or not. But negotiating with the 40. Not to say, hey, we're going to be taking over the Cabal someday. We're nullifying all of these deals that the Cabal had. Well, these could be long-standing things that would actually benefit humanity. Like, say, some deal was struck that some trading was going on with a particular race. Say, we nullify all contracts because we've taken over the ICC and the Cabal. Well, what happens to all those benefits, things that were benefiting humanity, that are applicable to the now, and this energy? They go away. So you can't go, okay, shoo everybody, this is a humans-only planet. No, that's not how it's going to work. This is not a humans-only planet because we're not only human. We have the codes of thousands of different races, also including those 40. So it's not going to work the way some people think. We're just going to boot off the planet and we're done, just like you see in the show Earth Final Conflict. They booted all aliens off the planet, everybody was kumbaya. No, that's not, I love the show, but that was slightly poorly depicted in that, where humans depicted everything and everybody was like, okay, fine, we're cool, we're back to normal. No. So that was the only error I ever saw with that TV show. But again, you're going to be eventually seeing all of these races out there. So, all right, I'll get right down to it here. Since it probably won't be that long of a channeling, because of the fact that clip I put before was fairly lengthy. It took almost an hour to negotiate that whole thing. So, we will go right into questions on this. So I gotta figure out who's actually going to talk for this clip. Is it going to be Seymour again? Let me know you're doing that. Who is actually going to talk? It'll be whom? Oh, it's going to be Fuma this time. Okay. Okay, yeah, Seymour was kind of leading the charge before. Now it's Fuma. Okay. And then, well, suppose we'll go down the brother list on other episodes of stuff. So there's several of them. So, okay. Okay, Fuma. Whenever you're ready there. Okay. All right. Excuse any distractions that are in the background. They're actually inspecting this neighborhood for fire susceptibility. So, all right. Fuma? Yes, this blockade and these 40 some races are indeed an issue, and we are helping to negotiate this blockade and negotiate these races and the relationship they have with all of you and you them. Yes, it is horrible what has happened. We never completely approved of this to begin with, and we do speak on humanity's behalf out in the system, but you must know that a warlike stance is equally unappealing, let's just say, to that of which they were acting. Yes, did we go to war with the Draco and the Orions? Yes, because it was absolutely necessary for the defense of us and others. But switching from that now to a negotiator standpoint, or negotiation standpoint, this is how it needs to be. Say, for example, you have a piece of land that was traded for from the Cabal and or military to any particular alien race. We're not naming a specific one because they're all guilty of this. And I do mean all 40 of them. Say this piece of land has human housing developments currently on it, and yes, there are several of these. Say one day humans find out they do not actually own the land that they are on, but an alien race owned it before them. What do you think would happen? A family insisting they've owned their family home for centuries, or an alien race that has owned it for equal if not more amount of time? There would be a struggle there. A compromise must be struck, you see. Yes, you are entitled to your resources, but they are also entitled to theirs, even though they did not always treat humanity fairly. It does not mean that it should be what you would call a no-holds-barred, knock-down, drag-out. No. Eventually this world will be a neutral territory, and thusly that kind of behavior is not going to necessarily be tolerated on either side. Negotiating the 40 races and any others that you would come across, knowing their customs, knowing their ways, knowing how much of an asshole they can be, negotiating how kind they are. Say that situation does come up, and we foresee that at least a couple of them will, depending on which race you run into, they will want to negotiate terms differently. We are not saying make a contract with them etherically or even written. Come up with something that is amicable to both sides. Eventually, Earth or humans and ourselves will be in charge of the ICC. After all, the Nazi, we'll say, nonsense is actually gone. Other people will have to take control of the ICC and honor certain deals and continue with certain deals and negotiations. This has also happened in your histories, where a new king had to take the place of an old king and negotiate treaties or lack thereof within the ruling lands. This is something that humans will have to come accustomed to. Should you have to do it? No. But this is how this particular situation has presented itself, and this is how things must be in order to prevent other races from becoming unruly. Certain rules have been put in place that actually are working to prevent them from being unruly. If you revoke all of these certain rules that have been put in place, it'll be chaos. But if you keep some of the functional ones in place, including humanity, at those tables, that is a little bit different story. If you go in there with guns blazing saying, no, we will not honor any of these deals, no. We're not saying make etheric contracts with them. We're not saying invite them home for dinner. No. We are just saying it is a starting point, a foundation. Building the foundation of not only showing compassion for some of those that are lacking, but showing that you will not tolerate bullying from those that bully. But not always in a violent way, where there are some exceptions to that rule. Out of defense, there are some exceptions to that rule, and you know of whom we speak. But these others, no. They don't necessarily want to fight, they just want resources. And they already have some of them in which they are willing to trade with yourselves. Some don't want to trade, some just want to be left alone. To each his own. But again, that negotiation will come about very much like in your Star Trek program, where there were different aliens with different customs, different planetary clusters, different ways of viewing things, different ways of viewing the universe. You will run into these things when you are out in the system. So we are asking that once you are actually the bridge and the go-between that we know you can be, we ask that you honor these things that have been set in place. Not all of them. Of course not all of them. Some of them are grotesque and wrong. Rid yourselves of what does not serve and keep those things that do. It just cannot be a blanket carte blanche, get rid of everything. It's either all or nothing. No, that is not how it works in this system. Now, at this point in time, I am open to questions.
Well, thank you for kind of joining us today regarding this. I find it interesting that, again, when you're now talking about galactic and race negotiations, because we haven't quite mastered that in on the Earth plane yet, and I can see, just talking about this up front just makes, I would think, it makes a lot of people very uncomfortable right now, because I can definitely say in the last 20 years of my lifetime here on Earth, there used to be, between human and humans, there used to be a lot more negotiation and compromise, but unfortunately, especially in things like the political arena, what people of the last 20 years have been seeing, which, if they still have any faith in the political system and the people who are running the country, they believe is acceptable, which is not, that it is an all or nothing, that there is complete and utter stagnation if one side can't seem to win a whole situation, and more of that is actually being tried to pump into the consciousness of humans of that is the appropriate way to approach something, versus the idea of compromise and negotiation, and even trying to actually take a moment to understand another person's perspective. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting thing that we're talking about this as far as being out in the galaxy, because it seems that there's still a lot of inner work to do for humanity on a day-to-day basis here before we're even ready to really go out there and start to tackle some of those problems. So within saying all that, my just comment about where we are versus where we're going, which is great, I'd like to hear from you your current perspective on, there are humans out there now, negotiating. There are humans out there now in doing these things. I've never heard a discussion yet about what you think of their skills. Do you feel that their skills are still, when we think of the Nazis, they're just very only self-serving to that group. They don't really care about humanity. Or are you seeing humans that are actually out there playing roles now that are, you would consider good representation for humanity? Because I've never heard that type of discussion before.
Yes, indeed, there are some humans out there that represent the whole of humanity well, and then of course you have the self-serving ones, which are the Nazis. The ones that are the former are the ones that will eventually take over the ICC, or you would call this the meek shall inherit the earth. This is a very true statement, other than the fact that not necessarily meek in standing or weakness, because we do not see it as such, but meek as in knowing when to negotiate, when to compromise, and also know when to fight. Meek does not necessarily mean weak. Meek also can mean that you know when to negotiate, and then when you know when not to back down. These are what you will run into with these different races, and there are humans out there capable of this that are already in the system and already negotiating on your behalf. We also do the same, but we also know when to tell all the races to shut the hell up and back off, too. This is what has happened. There are some races that are impatient and want a disclosure, like some of the Zeta Ebens. There are races that want the exact opposite and believe you to be children with loaded weapons. So, in order to negotiate with these races, it doesn't mean we are speaking negatively on your behalf, but we are actually helping to smooth the waters with the agitation of both sides of this fence and all that falls in between.
So my curiosity is with the humans that you feel are trying to really do well for humanity as a whole versus a self-serving interest. My curiosity is, where are they coming from? Are they attached to different aspects of, let's say, the military-industrial complex that's out there? Or, are they attached to, some governments, be it in this country or others, that actually are trying to do complete humanity self-serving? I just don't know where they're coming from. What are they associated with?
They come from not necessarily a unified group as people think. It is more compartmentalized and or divided, but there are people within a lot of these different divided, compartmentalized factions that actually have come together to form, I don't want to say an organization per se, but they have formed an understanding with each other, even though they are from different groups, different countries, different flags, and different militaristic groups. You say military-industrial complex, this is what you have come to call it, but it is far less unified than you think. There are different military-industrial complexes that actually have different flags and different banners associated with them. This is another problem that eventually will have to be corrected, but until that time, there are people that come out of each of these groups that do work together to negotiate with these other races.
And so because there's so many different groups out there right now, are any of them or any particular group that is advocating for humanity as a whole, are any of them respected enough by all of the organizations in humanity, even those that are just self-serving, that they go along with what the agreements are?
Not always, no. They actually will go along. They will capitulate to keep the peace. But do they personally like it? No. They will go along with it to a certain extent, and then they will start to try to form a negotiation of their own. They will actually either try to dominate a conversation, which is usually what happens, or they will just quietly complain somewhere and say they don't like it, but they will go along with it so that their particular organization is not undermined.
Okay. So it is just very disjointed. So is it one of those things where, if a race out there is approached, will they tend to, let's say it is an agreement over some resources, and the resources may have been negotiated by someone who's in, let's say, humanity's best interest, but the resources are then located in the United States, but they're also located in Africa. They're also located. So here you have someone, do they then, the races out there, have to negotiate from somebody with the United States and then turn around and negotiate with somebody from Africa? Or is there any sort of, well, this is the resource and this was the agreement and this is the agreement everywhere for it?
Actually, you are correct on the latter. It is for the resource everywhere. A particular person is then elected as that particular representative. If a deal was struck, this is what we were talking about, not getting rid of all agreements with some of these races that were beneficial. Like, say you had somebody that lended mining rights to, say, diamonds. Well, there's diamonds in Africa, there's diamonds in the United States, there's diamonds in Europe. Where do you get them from? anywhere they are, because it's a unified planet. This is why you see different alien races all over the face of your planet. They do not recognize country borders. They see it as one planet and one mineable resource. It is not owned by any one country or principality, you see. So in this, that's another adaptation humanity is going to have to face when an alien race shows up in your backyard wishing to take a particular resource that they were, say, promised or negotiated for in trade. It is not necessarily a personal thing. Do not take it personal. It was considered the whole planet. It is not necessarily your backyard that they're taking it from. It is little bits from each part of the planet. They're not going to drain a complete mine. They'll take pieces from all over and see which is the richest, which is the most pure, or they'll take bits and pieces from different places so they do not drain the resource. In some cases, those could be the seeds for creating new resources on their own worlds if they could either replicate it, or in the case of, say, a plant resource, they take the seeds themselves and plant them on their own worlds. If they need a tree that would create more oxygen, or if they could geoengineer a tree to create a particular gas that they breathe, they would only take enough to plant and replicate that said amount on their own worlds. They're not going to completely drain the resources here because they know it has to have time to regenerate. And they're not going to mine everything into extinction. Nobody benefits if somebody does this. But no, if you are sitting on a mine that, say, has crystals, diamonds, amethyst, which is the rarest, also shungite, any of these resources that are only found on Earth, just know one of these days you're going to find an alien mining party that might show up and take a small fraction of that resource because it was traded on that of the behalf of the whole. Now, we're not saying this in a more eminent domain sort of way. We are saying it in a negotiating the 40 races sort of way. We're not saying that you have to give up your own resources. In fact, you can be part of those negotiations and say, okay, hey, I have a mine, I have some resources, I will chip in for this. Granted, would they do it without your permission completely? They would still have to negotiate with you to a certain extent, but if it was deemed by the whole of humanity that it would benefit the entire system to have them take a little bit from that mine, then it would end up being so.
So for the people listening to this, because again, I like to kind of get down to the nitty gritty, there's a lot that has to still occur many years, here into the future before any person really has to, interact, let's say, because, again, we have to deal with our problems here. There obviously has to be some sort of disclosure. I still feel personally there's going to be attempts to truly spin a story of disclosure that certain people are going to want to try and spin that will keep them more in the limelight, in the appearance of being they're the benevolent ones negotiating for us versus being self-serving. And so I think there's still a lot to occur before this actual subject matter of humans in general seeing or interacting with any potential aliens showing up anywhere close to your property to get resources. They may be doing it in secret now, no one's seeing anybody, things like that. But I know we're having this conversation, but I certainly don't believe it's going to be happening anytime, soon. We talked before about, it could be 5 to 30 years before there's even any sort of formal notice that yes, this exists. So obviously that's got to occur first before you start seeing any sort of resources or tradings or whatever. So I guess I'm making a point to say, even though we're talking about the future and what it's going to look like and what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be out there, we're not saying this is going to be tomorrow.
No.
So I just want to kind of put it out there, but we do forecast that this is the way it's going. And then people in general are going to have to, understand what's true. And this is where I think it's going to get bumpy, because it's going to be it's going to be an interesting time. If you've got particular people, and I'm going to say humans now, if you've got particular humans that wish to try to spin the story of disclosure in a way that keeps them, let's say, in charge. Some obviously are going to be touting the importance that there must be a one world government type issue. I'm sure that's a part of it, and they need to be the ones who can do it. I'm sure they're going to be spinning a story. We need to be the ones who are doing it because we're the ones who've made first contact and we're the most skilled at it. You can just kind of predict. You guys could probably write the story, honestly, if you think about it, of the attempts that are going to be made for those that are currently trying to who currently behind the scenes control things, how they're going to spin a story to try to convince you to keep them in control and to see them as the one world government leaders. You guys can all write that story and we can just all sit and watch. Yep, here it goes. Yep, this is one example. So it's going to be interesting because it seems to me in their narrative that I'm predicting that they're going to write, there are going to be incidents that occurs that are actually going to again highlight to humanity and different people that maybe that the story that they're spinning, it doesn't quite jive with somebody showing up and saying their history with them. These things aren't going to jive, and because I don't think the alien races are going to lie or basically become a part of, again, another hoaxing of the people here. And so whatever story is going to try to be spun, if you speak to a potential alien race and you hear a whole different story, then there's going to be a lot of hums out there. But do you agree that a lot of the alien races out there, if this predictable attempt is made, that they're really not going to hardly participate in the hoax?
You are most correct. There are a lot of them that will not participate in the hoax. What your military and cabal are attempting to do is to introduce people to the different Orion factions. This is why you see images of the Greys on a lot of your different programs about showing, the distant ancestry, they're your relatives, they're related to you, they can help you. That's part of the spinning of the story. But what the truth of the matter is, the very first groups that you will come across are ones that you've already been introduced to, ones that look exactly like yourselves. This is what's going to come first because they will help pave the way, you see, to negotiating with these other races. Now, as far as the Greys go, not necessarily just the Orions themselves, but then you have the gray, we'll say, helpers or robots that these other 40 use. That will eventually be more brought into the light. But will any of these races participate in this narrative? No. It does not it does not behoove them to actually become part of this particular narrative. Have some of them already been on your TV programs and presented in an accurate and also not so accurate light, like ourselves? Yes. This has already taken place. This is part of a propaganda wave, as you would say, that the cabal and the military are putting out, such as, say, the forest people ourselves, for instance, are being put in a bad light. The reptilians and Orions are putting bad evidence out about us, and we're not saying there aren't some bad versions of ourselves out there, such as the face-eater baboon types and also some of the forest people that have gone astray, let's just say. There are those out there, but would we wantonly or any of those wantonly participate in a narrative? No, not wantonly. Some of them are harnessed, but we will not get into that part. The other races, would they wantonly participate? No. Would a Nazi party out there wantonly participate in a narrative that is, say, about themselves? Most certainly they would, and they already have. They're either A, trying to wipe your history books clean of all of their atrocities, thinking that they will eventually be punished for said atrocities, or they attempt to either that or show themselves how great they actually are by how much they've built in the system. They're as much a part of the narrative as the rest of your military and cabal are. But in all actuality, as I've said, none of these 40 races will actually participate in the narrative. The only ones that are participating in the narrative are the ones that help write the narrative, which are negative Orions and also other negative harnessed races, are those that have something to gain from the narrative, but that is very few and far between.
Right. So I appreciate this because I always want to leave these conversations making people feel like, no, we are going to move in the right directions. No, we are going to be able to discern when somebody is trying to give a fake narrative. We're just going to feel, where you're just going to start to know because you're using your discernment skills that when something doesn't sound right. Mm-hmm. And so, in history past, I can certainly see where the fear comes from because they have rewritten themselves several times over in history and stayed in control. They absolutely have. It's really what occurred. And so if anyone has this, let's call it fear, that is what's going to occur, it's justified because it's occurred before, and most likely you have had many, many lives here. You've gone down, you've seen it, you've gone through the toilet, here it is again. But this particular time, it's not going to occur. So don't feel helpless or hopeless or destined in any way. You just have to, again, work on yourself, dust off your discernment, listen to what's going on, try not to overreact, and just understand that, with your visualization of how you want to see everybody interacting together, that is actually extremely powerful, and that will really guide all of us to be able to create that now more than we ever had the ability to before. Mm-hmm. So I just want to put that out there because sometimes the things we talk about, I think sometimes can help, that if a person is vulnerable, they can begin to feel really helpless. And that's not the goal of sharing this information. So with that, and I know there was a long clip that Chris was saying that he's going to do, and we don't want these being horribly long, I'm just going to turn it over for final words.
All right, everyone. Again, we will go through this for this final part of this chat. When all of you, and some of you, and most of you actually, that are alive now, will be alive to actually see this take place. When you get out there and see all that has been done, all the history that is out there, all these races that are out there, and the different attitudes, types, and even smells these races have. Yes, we know it is a reactionary move on your part to go, what's that? Or, ugh. Yes, they are prepared for this. They know all about this. And some of them may even find you equally as revolting in this area. So, just know that you will get the same reaction on both sides, but it doesn't mean a compromise cannot be found. Just because someone stinks doesn't mean they cannot be bathed in compromise in this particular instance. We have been accused of the same thing, and so have all of you. So, know that even little things like that, such as smell, such as appearance, can be a major thing to humans. But just know that they find you equally as revolting in appearance in some cases. Not all of them, in some cases. And in smell in some cases. So just know, little things like that. I end with this, because little things like that can make a huge difference at the negotiation table. Compromises have been made to these different races to accommodate those different scents, those different looks, all of this. Compromises have been made, but humans will still have been a bit of a shock over this. Know that throwing insults at the different races over this is not necessarily going to help matters any. The same goes for them, and they will be called to task on that very same thing. So, sitting at the negotiation table, there is a certain, what's the word we are looking for, a certain honor sitting at this table with all of them. And do not also be shocked that you see a couple of members with swastikas on their arm as well, because they are a faction out there. Do not be shocked that you actually see different country flags that you were told were enemies of yours out there sitting at that table. Do not be shocked at these things. Do not get into arguments with these people over ideology. The time for those separations of ideology is over. This is a new age that you are getting into. Sitting at the table does not mean you approve of those people's behaviors. Far from it. It just means that you are trying to find a better solution than those people ever did in your histories. Say the Nazis, when they attempted world domination and system domination. They quickly found out that they are a voice in the choir and not necessarily the domination and control factor they thought they once were. We thank all of you. All right. Yeah, and he's absolutely correct. There are many factions out there that we would consider to be enemies. They said the only exception to the rule are the ones that started the whole thing, which would be the negative Orions. They are the only ones that are the exception to this rule. They see everything as a contract, everything as a deal, and also Source has basically given them their walking papers. So they are one of the only ones that fall under this category. And I'm sure there's something else out there that also would, like uncreation energy. That's another thing. But we're not talking about that. It's all of these races that now have to deal with each other and work together. And that includes Martian Germans, that includes Nazis of Ceres and of the Moon, Antarctica, all of them. They might be far removed from the human race, but they are still human. So just because they feel they are superior in some way and they've committed acts and atrocities of injustice, the justice in this day and age is getting to move on and sit at that table and eventually change the face of that table. So this is what they wanted to bring forward as an addendum to negotiating the blockade, which some of these races are part of, and negotiating the 40, which are those races. So thank you everybody for watching this episode of the World of Sasquatch. Bye-bye everybody.
Hi guys.